atualmente mora e treina nos Estados Unidos. Ele é o 4º colocado no ranking dos pesos pena, 2 posições atrás de Aldo.
Ele nasceu aqui, mas hoje em dia não está mais em Brasília, né? Mora fora, então para mim eu não considero como se fosse um brasileiro, né? Mora fora, então para mim eu não considero como se fosse um brasileiro. Mas se tiver essa oportunidade também, quero enfrentar no futuro. Eu sempre quero lutar com os melhores. Se ele estiver nesse meio, eu quero enfrentá-lo sim.
This is Brazil.
Hey, what's up? We're back. This week it's for UFC on ESPN 2, and it's Assuncao versus Moraes 2 also, which is a great card in my opinion. I mean, hell of a way to start off the ESPN era with 2 spectacular events. So we're just going to get right into it, and the first fight of the night is going to be 2 newcomers. It's going to be Ricardo De Freitas against Felipe Colares, and this is a pretty interesting fight. It just got announced. It's only these guys are only getting about 2 weeks' notice, but they're 2 newcomers. They're going to fight it out in their home country. And it's 2 bantamweights fighting at featherweight, and it's kind of tough to find any recent footage on De Freitas besides highlights, but he looks like a good prospect. In the highlights of his most recent fights, he does seem to have improved majorly on the feet. He's light on his feet. He looks good in and out. He has a good jab. He has a nice straight right hand. Good leg kicks, and he's very aggressive. He likes to walk opponents down. He likes to slip jabs, counter with straight left hands, right hook or overhand right combinations. He likes to close the distance with straight punch combinations with both hands. He throws hard hooks when he gets inside. He has a good chin, and when he gets hurt, he will swarm. He likes to make it a war. He kind of gets a little bit favela on people. He has no problem just really making it blood and guts in there. And he has 4 KO TKOs. He's never been finished by strikes. He's a strong wrestler. He's good timing on his takedowns. Good job punching his way into the clinch. He has strong knees to the body, to the head. Good body locks. He has reactive double legs. On top, he has good top control. He has strong ground and pound. He's active with submission attempts, especially off his back. And he can shoot from too far outside at times. He can end up on his back. He also can flop to his back at times in wrestling scrambles, which isn't the smartest game plan. He will attack with triangles and arm bars. He has good leg locks, but he does hang on to the legs too long at times, trying to get the leg lock, get hits with big shots. And he has 5 career submissions. He's never been finished by submission, so he's pretty slick on the ground. And like I said, he looks to be a warrior, man. He looks like you have to put him out cold, stop him coming forward. He has a little bit more experience. He is riding a 6-fight win streak, so he should be having a lot of confidence coming in here. And he's going to be facing the younger Felipe Colares, who's he's only 24. He's 8-0. He hasn't fought since September 2017, and not sure why. I couldn't figure it out, but he looks to be a grinder, man. His striking looks to still be developing. It's solely to get inside and grapple. He likes to use jab, body kick combination, long straight right hands, spinning kicks to the head. And he's fairly explosive. Front kicks to the body with both legs. Everything he's doing is kind of try to get people going backwards towards the cage so he can close the distance. He's good at slipping punches, returning with the right hooks, and then at other times after he kind of gets people used to trying to defend the right hook, he'll slip the punch, duck under into a double underhooks position. And he has stiff striking. He keeps his chin high, so he can be exploited if someone can keep it on the feet. And he definitely needs to make it a grappling match to have a chance at victory in this fight. He isn't a power striker. He has only 2 career KO TKOs, but he is undefeated. He's going to come in here with full confidence, and he's a strong grappler. His wrestling is where he has the biggest advantage in this fight. He's very aggressive. He looks for takedown attempts and plays to his strengths, pretty exclusively. He has good reactive double legs, but he does a great job ducking under, getting double underhooks, working from there. He will drive fighters back to the fence, then go for double single legs. And that's probably his most effective takedowns, those chaining together. And you don't want to be moving backwards versus Colares. You always want to be pressuring him going forward. And on top, he's very aggressive with his ground and pound. He will get good posture and guard. He'll rain down shots, create opportunities for him to pass the guard. And he will pass the legs right into side control. He has good mount from there, and fighters are able to scramble to their feet at times when he is passing too aggressively, but he's good in scrambles, usually be the fighter that will end up on top, and he's very active with his jiu-jitsu. He has good chokes, good arm triangles, guillotines, rear naked chokes, good cardio. He could definitely go for all 3 rounds, especially grappling, and he has 5 submissions. He needs to close the distance in this fight, get inside quickly, and, get this fight to the floor. De Freitas has shown poor fight IQ, flopping to his back instead of trying to continue a scramble, try to get back to his feet or take top position. And if Colares can take him down early, I see him kind of zapping him and his ground dominance, becoming more pronounced as the fight goes. But this is a close fight. De Freitas is definitely more polished, more experienced, especially as a striker. It's hard to gauge because, I feel the striking of De Freitas in and out could be a huge issue for Colares, but I haven't seen him defend takedowns in his latest fights. And his older ones, I didn't like how he accepted being on bottom. And Colares is going to push. He's going to try to get this fight to the mat by any means necessary. And if De Freitas still has that same, problem in terms of takedown defense, in terms of flopping to his back, I kind of see Colares getting decisions. So that's what I'm going to go with here. I'm going to go with Luis Felipe Colares to get the decision in this fight. And, I do see past the victory for De Freitas if he could stop the takedowns, but I'm going to go with Colares in this one. And up next, we have one half of the parlay of the week, which is going to be Magomed Bibulatov. And I'm expecting him to bounce back here against the newcomer Rogerio Bontoran. And, Bibulatov, he's returning after a year-long layoff, and he's trying to bounce back, like I said, from that first career loss. Pretty vicious knockout at the hands of John Moraga. And he's going to be facing a newcomer in his home country. Bontoran looks to be a pretty big physical flyweight, good grappling skills. He's a forward pressure fighter. He has a decent jab, good straight right hand. He will throw hard leg kicks. His lead right hook is powerful, and he can hurt opponents with it. And he throws a lot of overhands and hooks to close the distance, get in the clinch. He's super tough fighter, and when he gets rocked, he'll like to go to war. He got rocked badly in his Dana White contender fight. He almost was finished, but he was able to clinch up a bit, wing some big return shots, and survived. Overall, his striking is a means to an end still, and he kind of uses it just to close the distance more often than not, but he does have 2 KO TKOs. He will drag fighters into war, but he isn't a big threat to get a standing knockout. He's never been finished by strikes, and like I said, he's very strong grappler. He imposes his will on opponents. In the clinch, he's very strong. He's able to control opponents against the cage, look for body locks. He does a good job getting the Muay Thai plum, landing knees to the body, hard knees to the head. He has good slams if he can circle to the back on the feet, and he'll just bully opponents over if he can get those double underhooks. And on top, he's a back-taking specialist. He's always looking to take the back. He has good ground and pound on top, but he is always submission over damage. And he has great takedown defense. He'll make fighters pay when they try to take him down. Good elbows to the head when opponents attempt double legs. He also will throw out pretty good jump knees when opponents try single legs. And he has 7 rear naked chokes, 3 arm bars, and a heel hook. So has a lot of different ways he can submit you. But like I said, most specifically with that rear naked choke. He has 11 submissions overall. He finished 13 of his 14 wins. His lone loss was a submission against UFC veteran Michinori Tanaka. And for Bertarian to be successful in this fight, he needs to use his head movement, hooks, overhands, get inside, pass Bibulatov's kicking range. He needs to throw in combination, get Bibulatov on his back. And, that would be the most ideal situation for him, is to get him on the back foot with his striking, put him on his back, and control him from there. And for Bibulatov, he was a highly touted prospect, but his stock definitely took a tumble after his first loss. He hasn't fought since last October, and his name just doesn't have that same buzz connected to it that he used to have. He needs to have a dominant performance here, prove that loss was just stumble on, on his way towards the top for sure. But he's a great athlete. He's a well-rounded fighter. He has a wide stance, very active with his front leg. He uses his front leg almost as a jab to push his opponents back, ode the setter. He has a good front leg side kick. Uses the back leg as well with the front kick. He will throw a lot of rear leg, body, and head kicks as well. He likes to throw a lot of kicks. He has nice footwork, good head movement. He's always stays very balanced. He has okay hands. He has a fast jab to the head, good jab to the body. He will throw a check left hook straight right hand combination. He has good Superman punch. He throws a lot of spins. He has good spinning back fist. But his spinning back kicks to the body are the most impressive for sure. And they are fast. He has little wind up on him, so he has good spinning technique. He doesn't have big power. He only has 2 KO TKOs, but he throws a lot of volume, and he showed a good chin in his career. But he did get knocked out in his last match for the first time, so we have to kind of monitor that, see how he bounces back. He is an excellent grappler as well. He's a high-level wrestler, strong in the clinch. He does a great job disengaging. He doesn't spend much time in the clinch. He has great reactive double legs. He gets elevation. He dumps opponents to the mat. He does a good job getting singles, pushing up to the cage, turning it into a double leg. And on top, he's a mauler. He'll stay in opponent's guards. He'll rain down big elbows. Great job faking level changes, coming up with uppercuts, step-in knees, right into double legs again. And he does a great job setting up his doubles with punches, with shots, with everything. He's very good at mixing it up. He should use his wrestling to keep this fight on the feet though in this match, where he has an advantage, and he should use his kicks to keep Rogerio on the outside, then throw the straight punches when he tries to close the distance. He can take him down at the end of rounds, but even that shouldn't be 100% necessary if he has a good striking performance. And he has good cardio. He does have 5 submissions himself, and I imagine he would be very hard to submit. But Bibulatov should take this one. He needs to keep it on the feet, fight technical, use those straight punches, knees, kicks up the middle. And Rogerio is a warrior. He's going to come hard, but I feel he's outgunned here against Bibulatov. I feel like he's not going to be able to take him down. He's not a good of wrestler. And on the feet, I feel he's going to struggle at range. And, I feel like this is going to be a learning lesson for him in his first UFC fight. But, I feel like Magomed is going to be able to put it to him a little bit. The only way I see Rogerio being able to get the win here is if, his size with him coming down from 135 really affects Bibulatov. He can kind of big brother him, but don't see that happening. So I'm going to go with Magomed Bibulatov via unanimous decision in that one. He's going to be one half of the parlay of the week. And up next, we have a very interesting fight at 135 with Saeed Nurmagomedov. Shit, I should know how to say that, Khabib. I don't know why I just fucked up with that, but whatever. But we're just going to move on now. But Ricardo Ramos gets Saeed. And, this is a pretty good fight. Saeed's moving up from 125s. And both fighters are high-octane strikers plus athletes. They both had razor close decision victories in their last fights. That could have gone either way. Saeed Nurmagomedov's fight with Justin Scoggins, I would go as far to call it a robbery. I really thought Scoggins won, but we're going to see how he looks at 135 after his first fight at flyweight. He seemed kind of slow, so I think it's a good choice to move up. And he's a flashy striker. He has a strong wrestling base as well, but he has a good one too. Definitely prefers to strike. He has a quick jab. Counter left hook is very nice. He has a good rear uppercut. He likes to throw a lot of front kicks to the legs, to the body. He likes to follow his 1-2 with question mark kicks or rear leg head kicks. And his overhand right's very accurate. He likes to close the distance with straight punches and then land hard knees to the body. He will switch stances. He throws front kicks with both legs. He has nice spinning back kicks to the body, to the head. He'll throw jump knees to the head. He's a bit plotting, but I feel he'll be able to cut opponents off a little easier at 135. He was overextending on his punches against Scoggins, and he got dropped with a couple counters. Cannot do that here against Ramos, who definitely has the power to knock him out cold. And he isn't a power striker. He definitely relies more on volume, landing those flashy strikes to wow the crowd and the judges. But he has 2 KO TKOs in his career, never been finished by strikes. I feel he is durable, but he was hurt a couple times in his last match, dropped by Scoggins. And, for Nurmagomedov, he is a strong wrestler. He does a good job using takedown attempts to set up strikes, but he doesn't really like to use his takedowns that much. He'll shoot a single leg takedown. If it's defended, he'll control a wrist, throw a left hook. He'll also throw spinning back fists. He has fast shots. He has good single and double legs. He'll do the same thing with a double. He'll use a double leg, then come up top, throw an elbow, throw a knee to the head. But when he really wants to get the doubles, he's good. His length game gives him advantage to get his hands connected, get easy takedowns. He has good double legs, good double underhook where he just pushes opponents to the cage, lands knees to the body, good control there. But on top, he definitely is more of a control guy. He wasn't able to pass the guard to Scoggins, and he did land some nice punches, elbows. some decent shoulder shrugs to the head, but isn't extremely dangerous for top position. He does have good cardio, continue to press forward, try to win the fight for the entire 15 minutes. But he was a step behind all night in his debut, but constant pressure, gave him the nod with the hands of the judges. So you definitely got to be wary of a guy like that who, even if they're losing, just because they're coming forward, they're pushing the pace, sometimes the judges will give him the fight. So you definitely have to be weary of betting against a guy like that. But he isn't a huge submission threat either. He only has 3 submissions in his career. He's never been submitted, but you should look to, move early to force Ramos to walk him down, move and counter. If you could pick Ramos off with kicks from the outside, jabs, long punches, and then when he tries to close the distance, grab him, try to take him down, control him in the clinch, just out volume Ramos, get him frustrated. That's kind of the route I think you should take. As Ramos slows, Nurmagomedov could start to move forward more, throw a little bit more shots, his flashy techniques, and take over the fight more in the eyes of the judges. But Ramos, he's young. He's a 23-year-old fighter. He's 3-0 so far in the UFC. He has taken on some solid opponents. He's flashed huge potential. Definitely is an elite athlete. And he has good striking. He has very good jiu-jitsu. Nice outside leg kicks. He'll throw the occasional jab, 1-2. His 1-2 and counter left hook looked much better in his last fight. His hands looked much better overall. He was letting him go more. He was ripping to the body with hooks in close range. He was throwing tight left hooks. He has a nice rear uppercut. His check left hook is very accurate. He'll throw the right hook, overhand right after it as well. And he likes to throw a jab to a roundhouse or question mark head kick. He will throw front kicks, round kicks to the body. He has a nice step in knee to the body. He'll throw spinning kicks to the body. Nasty spinning back elbows to the head. He had a big knockout of the year candidate with one in 2017 against Ayman Zahabi. He doesn't throw much volume, and unless he addresses that, I see him being in a lot of close fights, unless he can find finishes. He did improve a bit with his volume in his last match, and at 23 years old, he should definitely show big improvements every time out. He has 2 KO TKOs. He's never been finished by strikes, and he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. He's very dangerous for submissions in top and bottom position. He's huge at bantamweight. He's definitely going to have a big size advantage against Nurmagomedov. And Ramos likes to fake level changes, come up with rear uppercuts, spinning back elbows. He's strong in the clinch with knees to the body. He has good body lock takedowns, strong takedown defense. He's very strong. He's an excellent get-up game. He'll bounce right back up to his feet. He's extremely hard to control on the mat. He'll attack immediately with submissions, try to create scrambles. He has very fast hips, great arm bars, triangles, nice leg locks. In the guard, he'll try to trap an arm attack with hard elbows and look for submissions. And, Kang was able to control him in his last fight a little bit with heavy pressure in his guard and landed a few elbows from top position. He was able to take him down with some well-timed takedowns. But Ramos was eventually able to attack with a knee bar. He almost got the finish. He used it to sweep. And he wasn't able to do much in top position with Kang. He couldn't really control him on the mat. And Ramos isn't a super active wrestler, but he will shoot double legs on opponents who are near the cage. Decent reactive doubles, good body lock trips. And on top, he likes to get to the back, get rear naked chokes. He tends to slow down in round 3, not throw as much. He does have 2 third-round finishes, including one in the UFC when he was down 2018, in my opinion. So he is opportunistic in the 3rd round still. And he has 6 submissions in his career. He was submitted in his only career loss. But he needs to go first in this fight. He needs to walk Saeed down, back up towards the cage, let his hands go. And if he can use his leg kicks to slow the movement of Saeed, he'll have an easier time walking him down. He needs to also throw more feints, fakes in this match, try to draw out the strikes of Saeed and counter, or just set up his own shots a little bit better. But this is a super close fight in my opinion. I feel Ramos will be the more powerful fighter. He has the chance to hit Saeed with some big shots, hurt him, which could lead to him winning. And I don't really see Ramos being able to take Saeed down. I do think, Saeed could possibly take Ramos down, but don't know if that'll be a great idea. Saeed needs to throw volume, keep a constant pace on Ramos with constant strikes. Even if they aren't powerful, be the more active guy for the judges. And Ramos, he's clearly improving. He has the better upside. And I just feel like he's in his own country, and I feel like he's going to be the bigger guy. He lives the more impactful, stronger strikes. And I'm going to go with Ramos by split decision, but I think that's a very close fight. I think either guy could get the win there. And it's a very high-level fight for 2 young guys coming up in the UFC, and we'll see what happens there. But the pick is going to be Ricardo Ramos, and I'll say via decision in that one. And up next, we're going to go to the fight didn't really have that much fun taping, and I'm not going to take a lot of time on here, but Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's going to be making his UFC debut here against Junior Albini, Junior Baby Albini, and it should be a striking fight for as long as it lasts, but Rozenstruik's making this fight on short notice. He has a few kickboxing fights. He's 6-0 in MMA. He's a stand-up fighter. He has a jab, leg kick. He has a good fadeaway counter left hand. Powerful straight right hand. He has good body kicks. He does let his hands go, and he has average hand speed, but he has a good inside leg kick, left hook combination. He likes to throw an uppercut, left hook combination. His leaping left hook overhand combination is probably his best combo, but he slows down quickly, becomes very hittable. He's in the fastest fighter to begin with. I mean, he gets tired, stands right in front of people. His punches are very labored, but he has one punch KO power. He has 5 KO TKOs all in the first round. He isn't much of a grappler, but he isn't terrible. He won't go for takedowns much, but he's strong in a clinch. He will circle to the back, get suplexes if he's tired. He will shoot doubles as well. He doesn't have great takedown defense. Fighters get him down pretty easily, and he doesn't have much on the ground. There's one match that went to decision. He gave up side control. He had a lot of big elbows, laid flat on his back, didn't really attempt to stand up, do much. He was able to deny a couple takedowns in the third round, and when he sprawls and gets on top, his ground and pound isn't bad. He's pretty active. He throws it pretty hard, and he needs to keep this fight standing, try to land his right hand. I feel his jab and leg kick could be a factor, but at age 30, he needs to get going now if he ever wants to, have a chance to even sniff that top 15. But Albini is most likely getting his last chance to stick around here. He's lost back-to-back fights. He was finished with an Ezekiel choke in his last fight against who's the Olynyk choke. And Albini is a nice one too. He's inside leg kick, body kick, nice knee to the body, left hook combination. He throws a lot of step in elbows, throws straight right hook, or straight right hand, left hook combination. He doesn't really throw much. He's plodding. He allows opponents to rack up volume on him. His counter left hook is really all he looks for. He allows opponents to go first, stands right in front of guys. Fighters can attack the body on him, hit him over the top with hooks. He does have power, and he's accurate when he actually lets go, especially with those knees to the body. He has 6 KO TKOs in his career. He has a good chain. He's never been finished by strikes. And, he hasn't shown his grappling skills in the UFC, but did have a few submissions on the regional scene. When fighters get inside on him, he does, instead of trading, prefer to clinch up, push opponents to the cage. He has good double underhooks. Doesn't really do damage, but he will try to get body lock trips. He'll throw knees to the body. And, he's 266 pounds, so he has good control in that position if he can get it. And, he only has one takedown in the UFC, and that was that takedown that Olynyk baited him into to get the Ezekiel choke. And, he has good takedown defense. I don't really anticipate this fight hitting the mat, but he can't let Jairzinho walk him down, dictate the pace. If he could take Jairzinho down in a clinch, I see that being a good path to victory, but he hasn't shown his grappling in the UFC. He has 6 submissions, so he has to have skill on the ground, but he has been submitted 3 times, and he needs a win here to stay in the UFC, but I'm going to pick Jairzinho. I see him just landing more shots, winning a slow, sloppy striking match. Albini definitely has more ways to win if he can take the fight to the ground or control him against the cage, but I don't think he's smart enough to do that, so I'm going to go with Jairzinho Rozenstruik via second round knockout in that fight. And up next, we have a fight that I know a lot of people are pretty interested in. A lot of people are pretty confident in Max Griffin in this spot, but going to be taking on Thiago Alves. It's an interesting fight. It's 2 solid strikers. Alves is definitely in the final chapter of his career. Lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Definitely needs a win here to extend his UFC tenure. And Max Griffin, he's coming off a tight decision loss to Curtis Millender. He's a surging prospect, so, no harm in there. But Thiago Alves, he's a UFC legend. This is going to be his 25th fight with the company. He's definitely seen it all. But one of the things he hasn't done in the UFC is win in Brazil. He's 0-1 so far in his UFC career in Brazil, and I'm sure he wants to get a victory in his home country before he hangs up the gloves. But he's a striker. He's made his career off of hard leg kicks, big power in his hands. He has a nice jab, strong inside-outside leg kicks. He will throw an outside leg kick to a jab or a double jab to a leg kick. When he finds his range, he gets comfortable in the pocket. He'll really start letting his hands go. Good job just touching opponents with the jab, waiting for the counter, throwing good fadeaway left hooks. He's very accurate with it. He's good at throwing the jab, sliding back, letting his opponents return, slipping that shot, returning and landing. He has a nice left hook straight right hand combination. He'll throw nice body kicks. He'll throw the occasional head kick. He has good lateral movement, good head movement at range. And when he's countering, he has good defense, but he will get wild, try to change the tide of the fight when he's getting, finesse from the outside. He can wane in with straight punch combinations and kind of get pieced up. But he still has a heart to fight and win, but that's where he becomes hittable. And he is powerful. He has 12 KO TKOs, but he only has one in his last 11 years, so definitely hasn't shown much power recently. And he's shown a strong chin over his career, but he's only been finished by strikes 3 times. And Alves is a good clinch fighter, but not much of a wrestler. He has good control. He has good head positioning when his opponents are against the cage. He does a good job landing elbows to the head, knees to the body. He has a good body lock takedown, and on top, he isn't super dangerous, but if he could posture, he will throw some powerful ground and pound. He isn't really active with takedown attempts, but he's landed almost 70% of the takedowns he's tried in his UFC career. He has good takedown defense. He has heavy hips. He has a good sprawl. And I don't imagine Griffin trying to take him down, but he isn't a big submission threat. He only has 2 in his career. He has been submitted 4 times. He throws a good amount of output. He needs to do that once again in what I imagine will be a striking match. And Alves needs to try to turn this fight into a brawl. Feel a struggle to land punches on Griffin with his movement. He needs to chop down Griffin's lead leg, hamper his movement, get in the pocket, let his hands go. And for Max Griffin, he jumped in the spotlight with the upset victory over Mike Perry last year. He's going to looking to add another victory and another big name to his list of victories. And Griffin's a powerful striker with a big KO power. He has a nice jab, good straight right hand. He'll throw a 1-2 to the head, to the body. He has solid hand speed. His straight right hand is very accurate, nice on the counter. He will throw a front kick to the body, good round kicks to the body. He has powerful leg kicks. He really hurt the leg of Mike Perry with kicks. He has good lateral footwork. He'll pot shot punch from the outside, keep the volume high. And he can be aggressive, close the distance with uppercut, straight punch combinations when he's getting hurt from the outside. He has good chin. He's willing to eat shots to deal out punishment. He had an absolute war with Zaleski dos Santos where he dropped him multiple times. He himself got dropped multiple times. And, he also dropped Mike Perry with a nasty jab right hook combination. Definitely has big power. He could change the fight with one shot. He has 7 KO TKOs in his career. He has a great chin, and he's just been finished once by TKO. And Griffin's an improving grappler. He showed off those skills in his last match, but he did fight Curtis Millender. He has major grappling deficiencies, but he was able to get a nice double leg, control Millender on the ground for over half the round. He wasn't able to do much, but he has good duck unders in the clinch. He'll throw elbows to the head. He does a good job throwing head kicks off the break, but he has questionable takedown defense. And when he gets put on his back, he's not great. He was taken down by Mike Perry. Perry was able to take his back, move into mount. He was also taken down by Curtis Millender, who I just said is not a good grappler. But I feel like this will be a kickboxing match as long as someone isn't getting pieced up on the feet. Griffin should try to use his lateral movement straight, and then try to throw straight punches, blitz attacks to pick off Alves, keep him on the outside. And Alves, tends to use a lot of big motions, wide attacks, and Griffin can capitalize on that with tighter punches. But I think this is a fairly close fight. If this is a prime Alves, he would smoke Griffin, but times have obviously changed. I definitely feel Griffin has a hand speed advantage. He's going to be the fighter with more one-punch knockout power along with more durability, in my opinion. And I see Alves being competitive, having moments, but I feel Griffin's power be the difference. I see the shots of Griffin getting Alves' attention, hurting him, wobbling him, maybe even dropping him. I feel Griffin can take the shots at Alves, and, I think Alves will be able to survive, but my pick is going to be Max Griffin via decision in this fight. And Alves may win a round, but like I said, I just think the power will be more pronounced for Max Griffin, and he'll get the job done in the eyes of the judges in that one. So Max Griffin via 29-28 decision. And up next, we have another newcomer with Tyler Santos coming in here to face Mara Romero Barella. And women's flyweight, they're getting a new addition with the great addition. Like I said, Tyler Santos, she's 15-0. She's a Brazilian, so she definitely is a marketable girl. And she's going to be taking on Mara Romero Barella, who's coming off a close decision loss to Chukagian. And Santos has only fought 2 times since August 2016, but she is coming off a win on the Dana White Contender Series in August. And probably is going to try to be a little bit more active here. She's still only 25, so she has a long career ahead of her. And Santos is a good striker with knockout power. She has strong leg kicks, a fast jab. She's light on her feet. She does a good job sliding away from her opponent's shots and countering. She'll lean back, land stiff jabs, straight right hands. She sets her leg kicks up with good fakes and feints, and she really chops down on the lead leg. She has nice front kicks to the body and to the head. She's dangerous with the round kicks to the head. She'll throw a leg kick, straight right hand, left hook combination. She does a great job using defensive footwork, moving and countering. Her jab, leg kicks, 1-2s keep opponents at bay. She's fantastic at hitting and not getting hit. She can lean back instead of moving her feet, and I feel opponents could feint and shoot takedowns or land her second or third shot in a combination and hurt her if she doesn't see it coming. But she does do a great job using the left hook as she backs up to try to offset that from happening. She has big power. She has 10 KO TKOs and 15 wins. And obviously she has good durability, being undefeated. And Santos is a strong physical fighter for 125. Solid takedown defense. Good in the clinch. Great job getting the plum clinch, laying hard knees to the body, to the head. She also smartly ducks under. Took the back in her last matchup when her opponent kind of came out a little desperate with heavy pressure in round 3. She took the back. She had a nice body triangle. She was able to control a black belt for over 3 minutes on the back. And she has strong double leg defense. She puts heavy pressure on the head, easily stuffs the takedowns. She'll snap opponents down, throw hammer fist, short punches from the front headlock position, wrestling ride position. And she doesn't deal with heavy pressure the best. The game plan for her opponent should be to try to back her against the fence, throw combinations, go for takedowns. Santos does have 2 submissions. She finished 12 of her 15 wins. She hasn't fought great competition over her career, but she did defeat a good fighter in Stephanie Almeida in her last fight. And Santos is going to be looking to keep this fight on the feet, strike with Barella. She has the superior hands, the superior kicks, and she has a major advantage in the stand-up, in my opinion. She can use her movement to pot shot Barella from the outside, not let her get in on her legs or back her up to the cage. She should light her up at range, but Mara Romero Barella is a grappler out of American Top Team. She's a developing striker. She showed she can kind of hang with the top 5 last time with the split decision loss to Caitlin Chukagian. And, she's a much more flat-footed fighter than Santos. She relies heavily on opponents closing the distance where she can counter. She'll throw leg kicks, straight right hands. She'll throw a straight right, left hook combination. She'll throw a right hook, leg kick combination. She likes to control the distance with straight punch flurries, or close the distance with straight punch flurries, but they're a bit sloppy. They're a bit slow. And she's kind of a plotter. She's low output. In my opinion, Santos, is going to light her up on the feet. She's an easy target to hit. She isn't super dangerous with her striking. She only has 3 KO TKOs, and she has been finished by strikes 3 times in her career. But she does do a good job ducking under, getting those double underhooks, driving her opponents to the ground. And she isn't very explosive, so she doesn't shoot many takedowns. Fighters have to close the distance for her to take them down, but she doesn't have the fastest feet. She has to do a lot of reaching to get into the clinch, which is just kind of easy to defend. If she can get on top, though, that's where she has strong, heavy pressure, good passes. She'll methodically work from half guard to the mount, to the back, where she has good rear naked chokes. She has 4 submissions. She has been submitted 1 time, but she's stiff. She needs to improve her footwork, work on her foot speed in order to cut opponents off. But if she, if she can get in the clinch, she has nice body lock takedowns against the cage. She showed that against Chukagian. But Chukagian was able to get right back to her feet. Barella needs to be very aggressive in this fight, heavy forward pressure, constantly looking for the level change. She can get Santos uncomfortable with pressure, getting backed up, and, get her thinking about the strikes or get her thinking about the takedown, then land a big strike. That's her best path to victory. But this is a tough fight for Barella stylistically. Great matchup for Santos. Santos is much faster with her feet, with her hands. She should be able to move, use leg kicks, throw combinations, keep Barella at bay all night. And Barella has been finished with strikes before. I feel Santos could do that, but I'm going to pick Santos via decision. I think she'll avoid the takedowns, clearly outstrike Barella, and, maybe keep it a little safe for a UFC debut, but earn the decision and move her record to 16-0. So I'm going to go with Taila Santos to keep her undefeated record in her UFC debut here. And up next, we have a very close fight with, people that are thinking both sides have a very good chance of victory. And I actually think the line's pretty off here. I don't think that Perez should be that big of a dog. I feel like this fight should be closer to a pick'em. But, Anthony Hernandez, he's a highly touted prospect. He's coming off a win on the Dana White Contender Series, former LFA champion. But he tested positive for weed. It forced him to sit out for 6 months to delay his debut. But he's now going to be taking on an interesting fighter in his own right in Maluco Perez. And both these guys are, tricky grapplers. It could lead to some fun scrambles on the ground. But Hernandez is still developing overall, both as a striker and as a grappler. But he has power in his hands. He's not bad. when opponents allow him to come forward. He is a little bit flat-footed, but keeps a wide stance. He does a good job leaning back to avoid shots. Throws a jab right hand. His straight right hand comes fast, good power. He will close the distance with the right hook, uppercut, left hook combination. That's very nice. He throws front kicks to the body, to the head, along with good round kicks to the head. Very fluid. He struggles with pressure. He just backs up to the cage. He allows opponents to dictate where the fight goes at times. He has okay takedown defense, but he does allow opponents to get on his legs very easily. Needs to improve on either keeping the center, lateral footwork. He will throw nice uppercuts at short range. He will swarm when his opponents are hurt. And he has vicious KO in his last match on Dana White Contender Series. Should be looking to build off of that here in Brazil, but he has 2 KO TKOs. He's never been finished. He's undefeated at 7-0. Very strong mentally, and I feel you definitely have to knock him out to stop from trying to win the fight. Hernandez is a strong grappler, very dangerous with submissions. He's long for the division. He's great at locking up chokes in the clinch. He has great standing guillotines. He's finished more than one. He'll shoot single and double legs, but his most effective takedown is a body lock clinch. He has good trips, and on top he is good at doing damage with the elbows, going for submissions. He's very calm on top. He's good at floating, keeping top position. He was caught in several leg locks against Brendan Allen, and he kind of had a scramble-filled fight with him. And he's kind of good at finding the back. He can do it from many positions, but he can be taken down. He has mediocre takedown defense, and I feel he doesn't put big emphasis on it because he doesn't mind being on his back, but he's too nonchalant on his back for my liking. He's good at deep half guard. He's good at getting the back from that position or getting top position. He has good sweeps overall, but he was allowing Brendan Allen to take him out. He was allowing him to get in a very dominant position, staying calm and just getting out of there. Did a good job of avoiding anything and moving away. But against a guy like Maluco Perez, don't think that's a smart thing to do. And, he has great cardio. And you can see as the fight continues, he starts to zap the energy of his opponents with the scrambles. They become much less of a factor. And Hernandez starts to dominate a little more. And I think that's part of his game plan, allowing guys to get on top of him like that. But don't think that's a smart thing to do against a guy like Maluco Perez. But Hernandez has multiple avenues to get the win here. He has 4 submission chokes, all guillotine chokes. And, I feel he has the tighter technique on the feet with more power, but he just needs to throw more volume, control the center more. And I feel he could take Perez down, grind on him, get him tired, but don't think that's the smartest thing to do. Perez does slow down in round 3, and Hernandez has great cardio. And if Hernandez can land clean, I can see him KOing Perez. But, Marcus Perez, he's coming off a loss to Andrew Sanchez. He needs a win here. He's having lost 2 of his last 3 fights. And he's a fun, flashy fighter. He likes to be a showman in the cage, uses a lot of crazy techniques. He taunts opponents, shows a lot of emotion. And Perez likes to fight on the outside, use a lot of kicks. He'll throw rear leg body kicks, occasionally go to the head. He'll throw front kicks to the body, to the head. He will switch stances. He has a nice straight left, straight right hand. He has a straight left hand. That's probably his better shot, and he definitely spends more time in southpaw. But he has a decent jab left hook combination. He'll feint the jab, throw overhand left. He has a nice lead elbows, good step in knees to the body. He will throw a lot of wild techniques such as spinning back elbows, spinning round kicks to the body, spinning heel kicks to the head. He'll throw up elbows and his spinning back elbows. He's at his best when he gets confident and he starts to get in the pocket, slip and rip. Because sometimes he'll allow fighters to push him back. He can almost look like he's running away at times. But he's awkward. It puts him off balance in bad positions. Kind of like he doesn't fight like Elias, but he can get in those same type of things where he does something very awkward on the feet, end up way off balance in a terrible position where he can get countered. And, someone could potentially exploit that. But he will invite a war when he knows he's behind, try to steal the fight. He has a good chin. He has 3 KO TKOs in his career as well. He's a wild man. He's never been finished. And he's an opportunistic grappler or jump out submissions. He isn't a good wrestler. He was controlled on the cage or on the ground for long periods of times in both of his UFC losses. In the clinch, he can be out-muscled, controlled on the cage. But he did show that if he could circle to the back, he has nice slam takedowns. He doesn't do a good job of getting his back off the cage, though, usually. But he does have decent defense. He waits for the ref to help him out. He'll even pull guard, attack with leg locks, create sweeps. He'll attack with Kimura from standing position and counter takedown attempts. He likes to try to hit switches, take the back. And he was able to do that and take the back of Ian Heinisch, and eventually he got an arm triangle from the bottom, which is not something you see a lot. So he does have very what's the word I'm trying to say? Interesting submissions, I guess. He could do a lot of different submissions. He has a lot of good front chokes, Darces, Peruvian neckties. He has a good squeeze. And he can be taken down easily, like I said. Eric Anders was able to take him down easily. And if you pass his guard, he doesn't really have great get-up game. He'll just lay on his back. And Perez needs to move forward, crowd Hernandez, throw long kicking and punching combinations. He's a more experienced fighter. I feel like if this is a 3-round stand-up fight with no finish, Perez will probably win. Fernandez tries to take him down. He should look to counter with choke submissions quickly. But if he can't get them, get back to his feet. And I also feel like he should look to take down Perez or take down Hernandez, move into those dominant positions that he gives up, and see if he can find a submission. But I'm going to actually go with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez here. I see him being able to hold his own in the stand-up, and eventually land some big shots. And even if I feel like Hernandez is overwhelming him, was getting a little bit crazy, starting to land some shots, he can take him down. If he takes him down, he just needs to be careful not to get swept or submitted. Like I said against Brennan Allen, he was putting some leg locks. He gave up mount, and he needs to be much more diligent, and I'll give those positions to Maluko. But I'm going to go with Anthony Hernandez to get the win via decision in this fight and to run his UFC record to 1-0. And we'll see what happens in the future for Anthony Hernandez, and hopefully Maluko Perez will get another fight if that's what happens. And up next, we have an awesome fight, at 115. One of my favorite fighters is back, Livinha Souza, the Brazilian gangster, and she's going to be taking on another girl that is kind of a gangster, someone that's not going to back down from Souza. She's not going to, it's going to be a lot of attitude in that cage. They're going to be talking shit. I feel like it's going to be a fun fight. But, Sarah Ferrota, she's going to be making that UFC debut against a stiff test, man, former Invicta champion. And she's a scary-looking chick. You could see from that picture, she's covered in tattoos. She kind of fits the bill what a normal person would think a cage fighter would look like. But she's going to be making the drop down to 115. She fought a lot of fights at 135. More recently, she's been fighting at 125. They don't have her latest weight for her most recent fight, so I don't know if that fight was potentially at 115. But she has had no previous fights at 115. And she doesn't look to be like a huge fighter, though. But she's coming off a win in the Dana White Contender Series at flyweight. She's only been a pro since 2016. She's taken a huge step up in competition. She fought the same girl 2 times in a row in her last 2 fights. That's the only fighter with the experience that she's fought. And Ferrota will throw inside leg kicks, good straight right hands. Her 1-2 is nice. She has pop in her hand. She's a come-forward fighter. And she's gotten a little bit better with her flat-footedness, but she still spends a lot of time standing in front of opponents. She doesn't move her head. She'll just come forward, wing bombs. She's very hittable, but so far in her career, she has been able to walk through these shots, not be affected, throw her occasional body kicks. Her kicks sometimes come very slow. They aren't set up very well. Opponents are able to counter or catch her kick, take her down. She is slow, and I feel Souza's gonna have a big speed advantage in this match. And but Ferrota is extremely confident. She walked people down with that conviction that she's gonna get that finish at some point in the fight, regardless of how it goes. And she has 2 KO TKOs, including one in her last fight. She's finished her last 3 fights in the first round, so she's definitely been on a hot streak. And she's a jiu-jitsu player, but not really a good wrestler. She has bad takedown defense. She allows fighters to get inside, get her down very easily. She's got most of her submissions off of her back. She's dangerous in the guard. She'll trap her wrist. She'll bring her legs high. She gets mission control. She lands heavy elbows. She has a great triangle. She's gotten most of her opponents with it. She has good armbar. She's gotten put in deep armbar attempts, but she stays calm, gets out of them properly, and she can get on top. She does have good rear naked choke. She has good guard passing. She has 5 career submissions. And Ferrota needs to try to make this fight a brawl. She needs to close the distance, get inside, let her hands go. And she's going to be the much bigger girl, which I kind of want to see what they look like when they match up. Then she needs to exploit that, try to grind on Livia a little bit. But she's probably going to be the girl with more power, but her striking is sloppy. She stands tall right in front of opponents. I don't think it's likely she's going to get a submission off of her back against Souza or on top, but anything is obviously possible. But Olivia Souza is going to be making her second UFC appearance. She had a dominant first-round finish in her debut. and she's won 3 consecutive fights after that split decision loss to Angela Hill. She's definitely fought the much better competition over Frota. And Souza's a smaller 115er, but she also possesses big power. She has much better footwork than Frota. She's light on her feet, good lateral side-to-side movement, much more professional. She does a good job circling off the cage back to the center. That's going to be a key in this fight, in my opinion, against Frota. She has nice leg kicks, nasty 1-2s, very fast hands, big power. She proved that with the vicious first-round knockout of Ayaka Hamasaki. Her straight hand is very powerful. She'll use to close the distance where she attacks with hooks to the head, to the body. She likes to get inside and brawl, and I feel like she has the crisper hands in close over Frota, but she needs to be wary of Frota's power with the return shots. She definitely has nasty body kicks. She finished Deanna Bennett with the liver kick, who's a 125er as well. And Souza will not back down when Frota starts to throw sloppy or panic, like her other opponents do. I see her being the first opponent who could potentially exploit the sloppiness of Frota striking and land those tighter, straighter punches and even knock out Frota. But she has 2 KO TKOs. She's never been finished in her career. And she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She's very aggressive with her jiu-jitsu. She'll dive on submissions in the clinch. She tries to get standing guillotines. She'll pull guard. She likes to attack with leg locks off the bottom. She'll attack with double and single leg shots. But her best takedowns is her trips, her judo throws. And she fights her takedowns at times like it's life or death. She'll power through with hard double underhook takedown. She'll even pull guard, like I said, where she has great sweeps, good leg locks. She can get caught in the guard of her opponents on top at times, like versus Angela Hill, but she stays active going body head. She has good takedown defense. She uses hard pressure passing to get out of submissions, such as arm bars. She's also good at avoiding triangles, keeping good posture in the guard, which she needs to be very wary of in Frota's guard. And Souza's much better against the cage going for takedowns and grappling transitions. And she dives on guillotines, arm bars at the end of rounds to try to win rounds. She's very intelligent in that sense. She'll attack hard, try to finish at the end of rounds, especially if she feels she's losing. She has good takedown defense. She doesn't even mind opponents getting on top of her, though, if they do. She has, very good sweeps. She has good triangles, good arm bars. And when she gets on top, she has hard ground and pound, great back take. She got a quick rear naked choke victory in her last match. And when she sees the opportunity, she goes for it. Definitely is a very opportunistic submission artist. And when she gets to half guard, she has heavy ground and pound. She has 8 submissions in her career. She's finished 10 of her 12 fights overall. She has great cardio, 5-round experience. And I think her body lock takedowns, double legs, will be effective in this match. And she will use her grappling in this fight a lot, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with Souza. She's going to be my most confident pick of the night. She's just progressed much further in her skill set than Frota. She's going to use her pressure, straight punches, takedowns to get top control, land ground and pound. I see Frota slowing down as the fight goes. And ultimately, I think Souza will get a submission. I'll say 3rd round arm triangle for Olivia Souza. And like I said, she's going to be part of the parlay of the week and also my most confident pick of the night. So I'm going to go with Olivia Souza to be my most confident pick of the night for the 2nd straight time that I broke down her fights on a fight card, and to get a finish in the 3rd round and be 2-0 with 2 finishes. So we'll see what happens for Olivia Souza after this fight. And I do think Frota will get some wins in the UFC, so I think it's a good matchup. But I'm going to go with Olivia Souza be a 3rd round arm triangle. And up next, we have the return of Johnny Walker, the interested, guy who burst out with a devastating knockout of Khalil Roundtree, bada bins, and, he's getting a quick turnaround here against Justin Ledet. And, Ledet's on the opposite side of the coin. He's coming off a decisive decision loss in his first fight at 205. And prior to that match, he was 3-0 at heavyweight, so he definitely has more experience in the UFC. Both these fighters are tall, they're long. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Walker is very athletic for his size, uses a lot of movement, a lot of kicks, showed much improved footwork in his last match, very wide stance. He's bouncing in and out. He's using a lot of head movement. He throws a lot of round kicks to the body, to the head, front kicks to the body. He'll throw leg kicks, oblique kicks to the knees. His hands are still developing, but he will throw a 1-2. He has a good right hook. He does a lot of blitzing, exiting, and flashy techniques. He has a nice jumpy knee to the head, good spinning heel kicks. He'll throw a straight right hand or right hook into a round kick to the head. His kicks come fast. He'll throw axe kicks to the head. He'll throw jump knees and Superman punches or spinning back fist. He's very dynamic, very creative. And when he finds his range, he'll throw in combination. He can throw kicks without setting him up, though, at times. Be counted hard. His one knockout loss, I don't know if it's his only knockout loss, but one knockout loss I saw, got knocked out in like 20 seconds very badly. because of that. He can stand a bit tall at times. Opponents can't get inside on him, but he was much improved with that against Roundtree. And he has big power. He's very explosive. He has 12 KO TKOs in his career. He has been finished twice by strikes. And Walker's a good grappler. He uses length to his advantage. He's very strong in the clinch. He has nasty clinch knees to the head, front elbows. He finished Khalil Roundtree with nasty clinch elbows in his last match. Very strong Muay Thai plum. He uses it to control opponents, move him around. He'll throw him around and then create angles for a shot. He'll attack with guillotines from standing position as well. He has a decent clinch takedowns. He'll shoot single legs, but overall he isn't much of a wrestler. He did have a very explosive slam takedown against Henrique Da Silva in his Dana White Contender Series match, and he has good takedown defense. He has heavy hips. He has a nice switch. He has good sweeps when fighters do get him down. On top, he works quickly. He has great guard passing. He'll posture up, throw heavy elbows. He's definitely trying to finish the fight. Good job taking the back control. He only has one submission. He has been submitted once himself. He did get tired in his fight against Henrique Da Silva. He looks like he has a bit of a gassing problem, but he did get a second win. He won the third round still. Walker needs to polish up his striking defense, not leave himself vulnerable for counter punches, because Ledet is a good boxer. You get cracked, and he should look to try to, keep Ledet on the outside kick, throw a lot of leg kicks, and close this with jump knees, head kicks. And he's going to have the advantage in the clinch and in top position. And I see him trying to use elbows from the tie clinch again when Ledet closes distance, maybe even throwing in a few takedowns. But for Justin Ledet, he's a very good boxer, but he was exposed a bit in his last fight against Alexander Rakic. Rakic was able to batter his front leg with low kicks. He took him down. He beat him up on the ground. And I'm sure he's motivated to come back, make everyone forget about that performance. Both these fighters are talkers in the cage. I'm sure it'll be fun as long as it lasts. And Ledet's a former pro boxer. He's one of the best jabs in the UFC. He'll double and triple up on his jab. He really bloodies the face of his opponents. He'll use a lot of feints to disguise when he's throwing his jab to set it up. He has a nice straight right hand, right hook. He has a good check left hook. He will fade away, throw a left hook backing up. He's pretty one-dimensional on the feet. He doesn't throw kicks or much in combination. He usually only throw a jab or a jab hook. And he's very heavy on his lead leg. And that's something he needs to address because I imagine a lot of his opponents are going to try to exploit that. Rakic was able to completely nullify his lead hand with the leg kicks. And he's a coaster, someone who's fine doing just enough to win, stay slightly ahead of his opponents on points. That's kind of a risky thing to do. We've already almost seen it come back to bite him when he won via split decision against a fighter he was clearly better than in Zuan Yanwu. And he's more of a volume striker. He doesn't really have big power. He only has 2 career KO TKOs. And he has a great chin. He'll talk to his opponents when they hit him to make sure they know they didn't hurt him. And he's never been finished in his career. And Ledet's well-rounded. He's earned a UFC submission victory. He likes to shoot takedowns when his opponent's backs are near the cage. He has good double-leg takedowns. He has good guard passing. He likes to take the back, get rear naked chokes. He'll try to take the back when his opponents take him down as well. And off of his back, he has gotten a couple arm bars against low-level competition. But he didn't show much off his back against Rakic. He did show a good guard early. He was able to get back to his feet, get the feet on the hips. And kind of get his legs high sometimes, control the posture, and not allow much ground and pound. He will chop a wrist, try to attack with triangles, but did never throw the leg up. He has 5 career submissions, and he's never been submitted in his career. He needs to fight a completely different way to beat Walker, in my opinion. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to have more heavy forward pressure, keep the jab in Walker's face, back him up, then try to counter with that straight right hand when Walker throws kicks. If he hangs on the round on the outside, he allows Walker to throw leg kicks. It's going to be a long night for him. And I think Johnny Walker should win this fight. He needs to use his leg kicks, in and out movement, force Ledet to close the distance. When Ledet closes the distance, get him in the clinch. Walker should try to use that plum to try to finish the fight. I actually think Walker can finish this fight. I see him battering that lead leg of Ledet with leg kicks, beating him up. And I think he's going to finish him in the third round with a big shot and some ground and pound. And so I'm going to go with Johnny Walker to get the win in this fight, but I really wouldn't be shocked if Justin Ledet went in there and got a knockout in like 2 minutes or something in a big upset victory. But I'm going to go with Johnny Walker to get a third round finish in that fight and, kind of stamp his name in there as a future contender at 205. And up next, we have another awesome matchup, with Charles Oliveira versus David Tamor, kind of like a striker versus grappler matchup. Both fighters are on the cusp of the top 10, and with a win, they're guaranteed a big fight. Charles Oliveira has literally grown up before UFC fans' eyes. He's been in the UFC since 2010. He's now 29, and and he's a winner of 3 in a row. He looks to truly be finding his stride. And David Tamor, he's 5-0 in the UFC. He's coming off a big decision win over Nick Lentz. He's going to try to get another UFC win over a veteran. And he's fought back-to-back grapplers, but they obviously don't pose the same danger with Close and Nick Lentz of the all-time submission leader in the UFC, Charles Oliveira. But Tamer's a Muay Thai kickboxing world champion. He's a very cool, calm, technical striker. Tamer has good lateral footwork, inside-outside leg kicks. He likes to walk opponents into his shots. He's very fast when he explodes in with an attack. He likes to throw rear leg body kicks, and he has a great straight left hand. He will start off kicking low a lot to the legs, to the body. And as the fight continues, he'll start going to the head with the kicks. He'll throw front kicks to the body, to the head also. He does a good job countering with his check right hook. He'll throw them off the break after he defends takedown attempts to create space. And he's good at circling away. He will attack the body with hooks. He has nasty step-in knees to the body. His straight left hand to the body is great. He does a good job pump faking his jab to set up his right hand to the head, to the body. He has good kicks. He has good uppercut as he steps in. He'll throw spinning back kicks to the body, to the head, but he uses them sparingly. Tamor isn't a big power striker, but his speed and precision make him definitely a knockout threat. He has 4 KO TKOs in his MMA career, and he's never been finished by strikes. He's a solid shade. He's hard to hit, but he was hit a bit by Lentz. He was dropped hard with the overhand by a fighter on Tough. And Tamer's an underrated grappler, as a lot of people out of the All-Stars Training Center are. And Tamer is very explosive. He has good rear reactive double leg takedowns. He showed that off. He earned a couple takedowns against Venata. He's very good in the clinch. He has nasty knees to the body, good elbows. Does a good job defensively fighting the hands, disengaging the clinch. Very good at getting away, landing a shot, circling back to the center of the cage. He has very good sprawls on takedown attempts. And if you do get him down, he springs up like a cat. And he has great get-ups. He's getting clipped with some shots against Nick Lentz because he was anticipating the takedowns. He did allow Lentz to get inside, hit him with a few overhands. And he got his hit with some body kicks. He caught a couple times as well with some head kicks, or with some big leg kicks. I'm sorry, not head kicks. And, he was getting his body kicks caught at times. He needs to set them up very well in this fight against Charles Oliveira as to not get taken down off of that. And, no one's really been able to exploit him on the ground, but if there's anyone that could do it, it could be Charles. He has great cardio. He looks like he can go for 10 5-minute rounds. He's not a submission threat. He has no submissions, nor has he been submitted in his career. And Tamer knows what he needs to do here. He has to work his stand-up, score points, avoid going to the ground with Oliveira. He needs to make this fight definitive, because in Brazil, I feel when he circles away and fights his style, there could be some heavy booing, which could affect judges. And Tamer should look to throw a lot of leg kicks, then throw punch combinations into body kicks. He needs to set up shots to the body, because Dubronx has been susceptible to that over his career. He can't let Dubronx get inside and get in the clinch on him. He needs to use constant lateral motion, never stand in front of Oliveira. And for Oliveira, he's looking to make it 4 in a row, call for a marquee opponent. He's been vocal about wanting to fight top-ranked fighters, specifically a rematch with Max Holloway. And Oliveira is a very well-rounded fighter. He has good stand-up skills. He's long for the division. He likes to work behind a front kick to the body, straight punches on the feet. He's light on his feet. He has good outside leg kicks. He has a nice uppercut to overhand right/right hook combination, And he has, a stinging, accurate straight right hand. He has a good check left hook. He likes to throw step-in knees to the body, flying knees to the body, to the head. He has good spinning back kicks to the body. And he'll throw jumping front kicks to the body. He'll throw spinning back fists as well. Very creative. He'll throw round kicks to the head. He keeps a very high guard. He stands tall, which leaves him susceptible to body shots. He has been hurt to the body by Don Cerrone, Anthony Pettis. But those are two of the best strikers in MMA history, and I don't think Tamar's on that level in terms of power. But on the feet, Charles needs to have constant pressure, back Tamar up, and ultimately try and get the fight to the ground. He isn't a power striker. He only has 6 KO TKOs, none in his 22-fight UFC career. He has a good chin. He has decent durability, but he's shown quit before. He has been finished 4 times by KO TKO. And Oliveira is the most dangerous submission artist in UFC history. He has a UFC record, 12 submissions, and he's a strong wrestler. He'll even pull guard to get the fight to the mat. He has excellent duck unders in the clinch. He'll get double underhooks, dump opponents. He has nasty knees in the clinch. And he likes to get the Muay Thai plum, land a couple of knees, jump on a guillotine. He's deceptively strong, good muscle fighters around. He's good at circling to the back, getting standing rear naked chokes, or getting his hooks in, pulling his opponents into a back mount. His rear naked chokes are excellent. He has an unreal squeeze. When he gets his arm under that chin, opponents are usually tapping within seconds. And he has great reactive double legs. And when he gets on top, he has phenomenal guard passes. He'll move in a mount where he'll posture up, land big elbows. He'll force opponents to give their backs. If he can't get takedowns, he'll attempt single legs, then pull guard. And in guard, he has super fast hips. He's very dangerous with triangles with the arm bars. Great leg locks as well. He does a good job using those leg locks to sweep. He tends to get too aggressive at times against other elite BJJ fighters, and he has been submitted a few times. He has 16 career submissions, and he has been submitted 3 times. Usually when he wins, it's by finish, and when he loses, he's getting finished. So he's a killer-be-killed fighter. He has decent cardio. He can go all 3 rounds. He's a veteran. He has more UFC wins than Tabor has MMA fights. He's 13-8-1 in the UFC with 12 finishes, and he has only been decision twice in the UFC career. He's 1-1. Oliveira should have some pretty confidence here. He's 14-0 in Brazil with 14 finishes. And Oliveira is going to need to crowd Tabor, heavy pressure, cut the cage off, try to use feints, fakes, long-range attacks, or draw out strikes from Tabor. When he can, duck under, take him down, even take the back standing. If he can get on top of Tabor, he needs to make it count. Can't just lose top position without doing damage or finishing the fight. If Oliveira can't get this fight to the ground, he needs to make it a war. He has to get in the pocket, try to throw overhands, catch Tabor with big shots. And I'm going to go with Brox here. I feel this may be a step up too fast for Tabor. Oliveira is going to be the most explosive, fastest grappler he's ever fought with the best top control and submission game he's ever seen. And Brox gets more confident in matches when he sees that fighters don't have that power to KO him. He started to the body by Pettis, but once he recovered, he started to walk Pettis down, really bring the pressure, started to have more grappling success. I see that sort of happening here. I see Tabor starting quickly, landing some nice shots early, having good movement, keeping Oliveira at bay if he's winning at all. Or I could see Oliveira blitzing him like he usually does, but if this is the worst case scenario for Oliveira, and then win round 1 easily on points for Tabor. But near the end of the round, I see Oliveira starting to pick it up with pressure, land some shots, get in some late round grappling scenarios. And then in round 2, I see him get a double body lock takedown, taking the back, and getting the submission, man. And I see him, getting a rear naked choke. But even if this fight goes to decision with the style of Tabor, I could see a robbery of Brazil, man, where Brox takes the hometown decision. But this fight should be a close fight. It should be like a pick-up, in my opinion. And it is on the betting line. But I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira. I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira via second round submission in this fight. And hopefully Charles Oliveira will get a top 10 opponent after this. And I still think Tabor is going to be a very good fighter in the UFC. But I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira in this one. And up next, we have another fight that I have a bet on where Damian Maia is returning after almost a year away from the octagon. He's taking a significant step down in competition, and he's coming off fighting the top 3 fighters of the division all in a row. Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley, Kamaru Usman, and now he's going to be taking on Lyman Good. He's getting a massive opportunity here to defeat a legend in his home country, and Good really needs to take advantage of this because if he gets a loss here, just with the marketability of him and his age, I don't think he's ever going to get another opportunity like this. But Good's a technical striker on a Team Tiger Shulman. He has knockout power. He has a very nice jab, good straight right hand. He has a good check left hook, and he's very good at parrying, hand fighting, good at landing sharp counters in the pocket. He'll throw hard hooks in combination with both hands. He's a forward pressure fighter. He doesn't really use a lot of lateral movement. He has heavy inside leg and body kicks. He has big power with 10 knockouts. He's coming off a big knockout of Ben Saunders. And he's shown a good chin. He's never been finished in his career. But he did show some mental weakness regarding getting hit against Zaleski dos Santos. And maybe doesn't really like to bite down to that mouthpiece and get into wars. But Good is a big, powerful athlete. He will do damage in the clinch. He ended his last match with nasty uppercut to the clinch, which knocked Sanders out unconscious. And he likes to dig to the body with hard hooks as well. He'll throw 5-6 hooks in a row in the clinch. He has good knees to the body. I assume he's going to want to completely avoid that against Maia because Maia's one of the best takedown specialists in the clinch, but Good also has questionable takedown defense. It's been the cause of multiple losses in MMA for him. He was notoriously grinded out by Ben Askren, and he was taken down by Ian Stevens on Tough. And Good will attack off his back with triangles with arm bars, but anything he tries off his back against Maia will most likely be futile. And he does go for takedowns himself, and he has decent double legs, back takes of his own right. There's still levels, and Lyman Good is not even close to being on Damian Maia's level on the ground. He has 3 submissions in his career. He needs to have very good takedown defense, anti-clinch game, and keep this man on the feet. He needs to deny the takedown attempts of Maia, piece him up, and try to knock him out here. And Damian Maia is going to be looking to be the fourth fighter, join the 20 UFC fight win club. He's going to be trying to join Bisping, George St. Pierre, and Donald Cerrone. And, he's a legend. He's a long, illustrious career, but it's definitely winding down. He's lost 3 consecutive fights. And, he stated that the end is near. I feel like he said that he only wants to fight a few more times and then retire. And everyone knows what Maia is at this point, that his takedown opponents take their backs and try to strangle him. And he's improved his striking over the years, and the threat of his takedowns always keeps his opponents guessing. He's a southpaw. He'll pump out a jab. He has a good left hand. He'll throw a straight left hand, right hook combination. He has a nice round kick to the body. Overall, he's very aggressive on the feet. He isn't afraid to get hit like most jiu-jitsu fighters. Instead, he wades into the fire. He invites a war. He doesn't really, strike very proficiently, though. He gets very tired very quickly. He doesn't have great striking defense. He leads into his shots. It makes him susceptible to counters as well. He stands very heavy on his lead leg. He also doesn't have great movement. When he tires, he will just defend with a high guard. But he's always shown a fantastic chin. He's consistently fighting the best in the world, time in, time out. He's only been KO'd 1 time. But he isn't a big knockout threat. He's only has 3 KO TKOs in his career. And Maia has been put on grappling displays in the octagon since 2007. He's had some amazing performances, such as the submissions of Chael Sonnen, Rick Story, Carlos Condit. He's arguably the best BJJ practitioner to ever step foot in the octagon, and he's added the wrestling to go along with that. He's gotten his chance to go back to New York and New Jersey, and this time trade his wrestling, trade at Renzo Gracie, so should have that on point. He said that was a problem in some of his recent fights. He wasn't granted that opportunity because of short notice. I knew that specifically being a problem against Tyron Woodley, but Maia is a tremendous single leg, and once he gets a hold of a fighter's leg, it's like a death grip. He'll try to dump opponents immediately. He has immense strength, especially at 170. He doesn't mind going to his back off the single leg attempt, and that's where he's truly special, man. His half guard sweeps are a thing of beauty. He gets an underhook. He'll elevate opponents to get into the body lock or sneak out the back door, take the back. And Maia's excellent at taking the back from standing position as well. He'll shoot a single, dig an underhook, push his opponents to the cage, reshoot, or quickly jump on the back. On top, Maia's a monster, man. When he takes you down, usually you are getting back up. He has great guard passing. He works to get side control or half guard immediately. He has great mounts. And once he gets to either position, he's always trying to create a scramble when he can take the back. And he's one of the best backpacks in the sport. He's extremely hard to get off your back. He'll get the body triangle, look for the rear naked choke. He also has no problem just hanging out on the back mount, riding out the round if his opponent plays it safe. And Maia has 12 submissions. He has 8 rear naked chokes. He's fighting his home country, Brazil, and he has 3 straight losses, significant step down in competition. He badly needs a win here. And like I said, with the win here, Maia will become the 4th fighter with UFC to have 20 wins. He'll further cement his legacy as a potential future UFC Hall of Famer. And he needs to do what he does, man. He needs to force grappling situations, find a way to get this fight to the mat. Good to struggle with grapplers over his career, and Maia will have seen that. He's going to know he can take him down. And he needs to be smart with this gas take, not gas himself out, going for the finish early or spamming takedown attempts. If he can take good down, there will be a huge skill difference. And Damian Maia needs a win. I think he's going to get it, man. I think he's less good than Santos. He was able to get down good in the first 10 seconds of their fight. Good as it proved to be that he can stop takedowns against one of the best grapplers in UFC history. And Maia's faced heavy hitters over his career. He's only been finished once. He's fought guys like Tyron Woodley. And, I think Good will struggle to find a KO. And the only way I think he'll be able to win, is if he knocks him out early, which, I said I think he'll struggle to do it, but it's obviously a possibility. Or if, Maia maybe gets him down in the first round, doesn't finish him, and Good can win the next 2 rounds. Or maybe Maia never gets him down at all, which I find unlikely, and Good just beats him on the feet for 3 rounds. But my pick's going to be Damian Maia via first round, rear naked choke. And like I said, I do have a bet on that fight on Damian Maia, so pretty confident that he's going to get the job done there against Lyman Good. And the pick's going to be Damian Maia via first round, rear naked choke. Oh, man, the great fights just keep on fucking rolling, man. These last 3 fights on this card, even the last 4 fights with Tate Moore versus Charles Oliveira, are just absolutely tremendous, man. Just brilliant fights. Jose Aldo against Hernandez Moicano. The legends continue to litter the card, man. Arguably the greatest featherweight of all time. Aldo's set to fight. He's going to be taking on Renato, and it's kind of like a new school versus old school Brazilian matchup. I've been pumped for this fucking fight, man. And Aldo's been on top of the division since the UFC introduced it. He only has losses to Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. It's kind of, you know, cliche, or not cliche, that's not the right word, but it's kind of like it's the cool thing to do now in MMA to kind of bash Aldo, talk down, disparage his career. But I mean, shit, man. I mean, I saw almost everyone last time. They all were on Jeremy Stevens. Almost everyone I saw was on Jeremy Stevens. And man, I mean, I remember I came on here. I told everyone that very confident in Aldo. I put my money down on Aldo and cashed the ticket, man. So for everyone that thinks Aldo's done, I mean, to me, I don't think he's done, man. I think he's lost 3 of his last 5 matches, but he fought Max Holloway twice and Conor McGregor in that stage when Conor McGregor was really serious about fighting. And, you know, he was a little bit over aggressive against McGregor. He got caught. He lost those 2 fights to Max, who's a different animal at this stage. He's still only 32 years old, man. He's not an old man. And, you know, I still think people need to give him more respect. And he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's coming in this fight as an underdog, and Moicano, he's coming off that first round finish of Cub Swanson. He's 5-1 with his one UFC loss coming to Brian Ortega. And he's an excellent fundamental striker. He works behind the filthy jab. He has hard inside leg kicks. He has great footwork and lateral movement. His straight right hand is nasty, man. He sets it up with the jab very well. Nice overhand right left hook. Very good at fighting in the pocket. He has great parrying, hand fighting, and he has elite hand speed. He will throw a lot of straight punch combinations followed by hard body kicks. He does a great job throwing a jab, sliding back, avoiding the counter, landing a hard straight right hand. He has a good left uppercut, right hook combination. He'll attack to the body with punches. He has nice head kicks. He'll throw them at the end of combinations. He looked the sharpest he ever looked in his last match. He dropped Cub Swanson and then submitted him in the first round. And he isn't a power striker. He relies more on volume. Jeremy Stevens is able to land some good low kicks. And Moicano, after he gets clipped hard, he seems to get much more timid and defensive, in my opinion. But he's never earned a KO TKO in his career. But he has a good chin. He's never been finished by strikes. And he's a black belt. He's very good on the ground. He's excellent at striking from the clinch. He has nasty knees to the body, great Muay Thai plum elbows. He has strong body lock takedowns. He showed excellent guard passing against Cub Swanson. He was able to move directly in a mount. He has heavy ground and pound, good top control. I mean, Cub Swanson was already hurt, so it's hard to gauge, but great floating ability. He was able to quickly take the back, lock in the rear naked choke. He has good single leg takedowns, good reactive doubles. He shot an ill-advised takedown to get into a guillotine in round 3 against Ortega because he seemed tired. He didn't like that forward pressure on the feet. And he has great takedown defense, though, but I highly doubt this fight hits the ground unless someone, you know, gets dropped. I don't think he's going to be taking down Aldo. And he has 6 submissions. He's only been submitted once. And Moicano's going to have to change his style up a bit for this matchup, in my opinion. I think Moicano should use more forward pressure, try to force Aldo into pocket exchanges, test his cardio and durability. He needs to throw in combination, try to catch Aldo as he exits. Aldo can't exit with his chin high at times when he feels exchanges are over. And Moicano, if he can extend those exchanges and exploit that, that'll probably be his best chance to clip Aldo hard when he's not expecting it. And playing an outside game with Aldo, even now, is kind of a hard proposition. I don't know if that's the best game plan. So like I said, I feel like definitely should try to make it more of a barroom brawl a little bit. And Aldo's on the twilight of his career. He stated he wants to fight 3 more times in Brazil and retire. He also decided to co-main event this event rather than headline it, so he wouldn't have to fight 5 rounds. He said that was a decision made by Dede Pederneiras. And some people may see that as a lack of motivation, but there seems like there's a little bit of bad blood coming in this matchup. And I see Aldo motivated. I saw some commentary saying he didn't give a shit about being an underdog. He's going to go in there and handle his business. And, you know, he seems pumped up for this fight. But Aldo's one of the best strikers of all time. He's extremely economical, accurate with his shots. He fights like a sniper, man. He has tremendous jab, good lateral footwork. He makes it extremely hard for opponents to get inside. Does a great job faking the jab to create openings for a straight right hand. He has an excellent job of jab, each stepping back, allowing his opponents to go first, countering with hard shots, nasty counter straight right hands, counter right hooks. He likes to throw left hook, straight left hands into hard leg and body kicks. He does a great job faking and fading the same combinations he lands, really making his opponents always have to react to him instead of creating their own offense. He has some of the best leg kicks in MMA history. He hasn't really shown them much in recent fights, but did land a few brutal leg kicks against Stevens. And this is fight where he needs to get back to that in this matchup and try to batter that lead leg of Moicano. Aldo has amazing head movement. He'll slip and return to the pocket with hard hooks to the body. He has nasty step-in knees to the body, to the head. And when opponents try to get inside, he'll throw those flying knees, which are devastating, man. He has multiple fights. He's won via flying knee KO. He'll throw nasty spinning body kicks. He has good head kicks. He's still extremely explosive, powerful. He's definitely going to be the fighter with more one-shot knockout power. And the speed's going to be very close, in my opinion, if not Aldo having an edge. I haven't seen one person that's had an edge over Aldo in speed. It's going to be very interesting who has the hand speed advantage. But, Aldo has 16 KO TKOs in his career, and obviously, like we said, Moicano has 0, so that's a huge discrepancy there. But his ability to take a shot is obviously weakened. He's been finished 3 times, all in his last 5 fights. And in my opinion, he's one of the best. He's probably the best. I don't even say one of the best. He's probably the best anti-grappler in MMA history. The ability he has to deny takedown attempts, make fighters pay for shooting is absolutely uncanny. He throws the front knees up the middle, flying knees to stop takedown attempts, along with very accurate uppercuts. Aldo's nasty and clinch. He has great knees to the body. He was able to get a highlight reel flying knee KO Chad Mendes directly off the break. He does a great job limp legging out of single leg, sprawling on doubles. He is a great wizard to deny single leg attempts. He'll land hard hammer fists to the head. He rarely shoots takedowns, but he does have good reactive double legs, decent clinch takedowns. He's a black belt, but not really dangerous submission threat in top position. Normally only wrestles when he's tired, but he has had cardio issues in fights, specifically 5-round fights, but he did quickly fade against Holloway. Holloway pushes a pace that few in MMA history have been able to do, and he's not the same fighter as Renato. Aldo's going to do what he does, man. He's going to use his tremendous lateral footwork, angling, pot shot from the outside, explode in when he sees the opportunities. And, I think he should throw a lot of leg kicks. I think that, he's definitely going to be the guy with more explosive power. And, I don't know, man. I feel like I think Aldo should try to jab overhand right or jab straight hand, catch Moicano with the second punch in a combination. If he can start to beat Moicano at an outside game, get Moicano to get a little bit sloppy, he may try to close that distance, and that's where Aldo's knees come into play. And Moicano has no KO TKO in his career, so I think it's going to be interesting to see if he has the power to hurt Jose. And, to me, I just don't think he does, man. I feel like Jose is going to, everyone talks about Jose's chin like it's completely gone, but everyone says Jeremy Stephens is a big knockout striker. He's one of the best knockout fighters in the division. And Aldo, what I saw in that fight with Jeremy Stephens was Aldo took some shots against the cage, some big shots, and he got some confidence off that. He said, okay, this dude isn't knocking me out, man. And he started, right after he got hurt, he started walking down Jeremy Stephens heavy, man, started throwing some combinations and really taking it to him, and that's where he found the finish. And, if he's not afraid of the power that Jeremy Stephens is throwing at him and he's able to take some of those shots, I just feel like he's going to be the faster, more explosive guy. And I feel like he's going to give Renato problems, man. I'm going to go with Jose Aldo via third-round knockout, man. I think that Aldo's going to be able to catch him, drop him, and finish him off, man. I just feel like Aldo's the superior striker. I feel like he's the superior fighter overall. I think he's the better athlete. And Aldo, obviously, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I bet on him every single fight that he's been in the UFC. And, I've lost sometimes on those, but more often than not, Jose Aldo's cashing a ticket for you. So my bet's going to be Jose Aldo. I'm going to bet on him again. I actually already bet on him. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if Renato Moicano is finally going to be the next Brazilian to step up, take that spot from Aldo. But I'm going to say Aldo keeps the throne for now, and I'm going to go with Jose Aldo via third-round knockout in that fight. And up next, we have the main event. We have the rematch with Rafael Assuncao versus Marlon Moraes, which is, a pretty contested fight. A lot of people thought that Marlon Moraes deserved that victory, but now this fight, they're kind of in a conundrum, a little bit of a weird thing where, this was potentially very clearly a number one contenders fight in terms of merit, but now that you're hearing rumors that the 125-pound division is still going to go away, which, in my opinion, that sucks, man. I mean, I really enjoy that division, but apparently it still looks like it's not like it's going to stick around. And so how can you not have Henry if you're going to take his belt, take his division, come up there and fight for that title? So maybe these guys are not in a number one contender fight, but, we're just going to act like they are. But, this is probably the last chance for Rafael Santos, obviously at 36 years of age, to get up there and fight for the title. And, he obviously got the win over Marlon in the first fight. And Marlon's going to be the guy that's more explosive. Marlon's going to be the faster guy. But Marlon uses a lot of big, wide techniques. He uses a lot of, wide hooks to kicks. The thing that people that they can exploit with Marlon is those straight punches up the middle, man, where, John Dodson dropped it with that. Rafael Santos rocked it with the straight punches, some tighter punches, walking him down, making him get in the pocket. And, and Rafael Santos had success with that in those first 2 rounds. He was walking him down. He was throwing those tighter punches, and he rocked Marlon a couple times with some big right hands. And he needs to do that again, man. He needs to have that straight right hand. He needs to be have that heavy pressure. Whoever's pressured in this fight is going to be winning the fight. You saw that 3rd round when Moraes started to find his rhythm, really started to move in and out, be a lot quicker in and out, start to throw a lot more kicks, a lot more volume. He was trying to push Rafael Santos back, overwhelm him a bit, and was clearly winning the striking in that 3rd round in the later portions. So, Marlon is the guy that has more experience in 5-round fights. And, obviously, I feel like when Marlon gets his shit together, when he gets everything going, he's much more dangerous. We've seen that in his last 2 fights, 2 quick finishes. And, Marlon has those nasty head kicks, nasty leg kicks. Santos does a good job checking those leg kicks. But what I saw was, once Marlon Moraes started to find his range and he was moving in and out, he was landing, he was backing out, it seemed like Santos was just kind of a step behind. And I feel like, as the fight goes on, I feel like Santos' best chance to win is by earlier in the fight, either getting a big shot, knocking out Marlon Moraes, dropping him, hurting him bad, and or winning those early 3 rounds or 2 rounds early, because I feel like Santos is going to come out early. He's going to be the guy leading the dance, walking forward, and I feel like he's going to be having early success on Marlon. Maybe win the first round, maybe the second round. I think they're going to be close rounds like the first fight, but I think once Marlon finds his rhythm, finds that pace that he likes to work at, starts moving in and out, and really starts pushing Santos back, I think he's going to start to take over the fight. And at that point, it's just going to come down to whether Santos is going to be able to still be competitive and not get ran over there at that point by Marlon in the final 2 rounds or whenever it starts to happen. Or, if he's up 2-0, all he has to do, is take one of those final 3 rounds for him to get the decision there. So it's, in my opinion, a very close fight, much closer than the odds, almost like a pick'em. But I'm going to go with Marlon Moraes by decision. I just think that he might find his range, and I feel like he's going to sweep the later portion of the rounds, maybe the 4th and 5th round. And all he has to do is win one of the first 3. So I'm going to say Marlon Moraes is able to get it done there, win one of those first 3 rounds, and then win the last 2, win a decision. But don't agree with the line, and I do think it's a dog or pass situation for that matchup. But, for the parlay of the week, like I said, the parlay of the week is going to be Livinha Souza to go along with Magomed Bibulatov. And for the most confident pick, it's going to be Livinha Souza. But some other people that I really like on this card are Tyler Santos. I feel like she should get the victory. I feel like Johnny Walker, he's in a good matchup there against Ledet. Obviously, I have a bet placed on on Damian Maia. I have a bet placed on Jose Aldo as an underdog. And I do feel like there's a lot of value there at Rafael Santos plus 185. But obviously my pick was Marlon Moraes, so I'm not going to bet on that one. I do feel like Thiago Alves is live. I see a lot of people are betting on Ricardo Ramos, which I don't think is a bad bet as the underdog. Did pick him to win there. So, and, I think that Junior Albini versus Rozenstruik, that's a fight you definitely want to avoid. I feel like Perez against Hernandez, I would avoid that one as well. And Tabor against Charles Oliveira, I'm just going to enjoy that one. So that's going to be the breakdown for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me what you think of the intro, what you think if I should keep doing intros, what you like about him, what you dislike about him, and just what you like about this breakdown overall. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. So keep pushing, keep making everyone know. And sharing it with your friends and everything. And thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Hopefully we can win our first bet of the year here on the show. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next week. It's actually going to be 9 straight weeks of fights, so you're going to be hearing a lot from me. But, all right, we'll see you guys next week for Whitaker versus Kavagaslam.